It's that time of the year when the days become shorter, the weather gets colder, and it seems like people become less lonely. This period is known as cuffing season, folks. During this fantastic time, individuals rush to start relationships to avoid spending the winter months alone and escaping the bothersome seasonal affective disorder. Cuffing season is filled with flirting and a bit of wishful thinking. Since many of these budding relationships that begin around this time are partly driven by a desire to fend off the cold and lonely months, they often come to a sudden halt when the weather warms up again. So, this love fest in the cold weather is more like a 4-month daydream. Now, let's get real. I'm usually quite realistic. I'm highly aware of body language, social cues, and others' feelings. However, during cuffing season, that awareness isn't always a blessing. Ever found yourself in a room with two people clearly interested in each other, caught in the middle of uncomfortable glances and suffocating tension? It's draining. So, when I can't take it anymore, I let myself drift off into daydreams and fantasies. And here's the thing: I find that being a bit delusional is the secret to having a good time. Personally, I enjoy the world of delusions more than the reality of things. So, consider this your sign to embrace those delusions more often and add a touch of romance to your life. Did he glance at you for a fraction of a second? Well, he must be head over heels for you. Go create a virtual version of him in The Sims. Did she casually touch your arm while passing by? Clearly, she believes you're the one for her. Go for it, champ. Isn't it fun? Plus, who knows, maybe they genuinely are interested in you, and letting your delusions guide you could lead to a lifetime of happiness. Let's face it, the world can be too scary and real at times. Taking it seriously all the time is a bit much. If you never take any chances, you're missing out on all the fun. Trust me on this. Give in to your delusions for an hour. It's a form of self-care. As long as you don't get too attached to your delusions and can still tell what's real from what's not, there's no harm in it. It's all about finding that balance. Here's the catch. Though I'm pretty perceptive when it comes to others, but when it comes to my own romantic interests, I'm quite clueless. I can spot romantic vibes between two strangers in less than a minute, but if a guy is into me, I won't catch on unless he plainly tells me. It's frustrating making my life seem more downhearted than it truly is. And these days, many guys either can't or won't admit their feelings to a girl. Absolutely. I think everyone lets their mind wander to dramatic scenarios during boring classes. Why not, right? And imagining what it would be like if a man swept me off my feet. Sure thing, it's entertaining, and honestly, expecting me to pay attention every second of a 2-hour class is just not reasonable. Now, will the guy I fancy actually play out these dramatic scenarios in real life? Well, probably not, because, this is the real world. But by indulging in these delusions, my life feels less like a gloomy news broadcast and more like a lighthearted rom-com movie. There's this quote making the rounds on TikTok. Delulu is the solulu, which basically means being delusional is a solution to finding happiness. And this idea isn't just about dating. It can apply to any part of your life that feels unsatisfactory. If the ending of a relationship, an opportunity, or a life event leaves you feeling down, you can create your own ending to that story. Craft a delusional reason why it didn't work out, and suddenly you find comfort in creating your own narrative. Let me break it down with an example. Imagine I didn't get a job offer. I'd tell myself, Oh, they decided not to offer me the job because I intimidated them with my incredible talent and drive. Boom, problem solved. Now, I don't feel inadequate. Instead, I feel empowered to prove that company wrong. It's a fantastic way to flex your imagination and creativity. It's like drafting the ideal story of your life in your mind. You have control over the beginning, middle, and end. You can cut out the tough parts and paste in the ones that make your story better. It's your own little masterpiece in the making. I understand that some folks might be skeptical when they hear the word delusional. It's got these scary associations with straitjackets and padded walls. But in reality, being a bit delusional is about creating a more satisfying version of reality in your head. Because let's face it, life can be tough. People who hurt you might not apologize. Those you like might not feel the same way, and not every opportunity pans out. Sometimes that reality is hard to swallow. So, why not create your own? Live in both the physical world and the one inside your mind. Finding a happy medium between the two can make your life feel less burdensome than you might have thought. As cuffing season begins and the seasonal blues start creeping in, take some time within your own mind to craft a reality that brings you joy. Even if those scenarios never unfold in real life, it's okay and you're okay. You can find comfort within yourself. Your imaginative narratives and scenarios will be there for you throughout the winter until someone is ready to turn that fiction into reality. Trust me, someday someone will. But until then, spend some quality time in your mind palace and embrace a bit of delusion. Now, on a slightly different note, have you ever felt like something is missing in your life? Do you believe you're destined for more than what the world seems to offer? Are you searching for a fast track to happiness? If you answered yes to any of these questions, pay attention. I've delved into the greatest philosophical, spiritual, and academic teachings worldwide in search of a recipe for peace, abundance, contentment, and success. And I'm willing to share my secret without expecting anything in return. Not even 3 easy payments of $49.95 plus postage and handling. So, here it is, the universe's secret to true happiness, embracing the power of delusion. Deep within each of us lies the ability to believe in things that might not be entirely true. I'm not advocating for grand delusions that would land someone with a crazy conspiracy theory sandwich board, like spies, lasers, and underground lairs. I'm talking about more ordinary fantasies, believing that the world is inherently good, overseen by a benevolent and all-powerful God, thinking that alternative health therapies genuinely work, or considering one's partner as the most beautiful being, even without any objective evidence proving they're more wonderful than anyone else. These are the delusions worth fostering. Contrary to popular belief, truth isn't always the route to health and happiness. Scientific evidence has shown that good things often happen when one disregards scientific evidence. Take the placebo effect, for instance. Sham medicines and treatments can significantly improve a patient's health. The placebo has become a frontier in medicine in the United States. As The Guardian columnist Madeline Bunting explained, various studies have produced startling results, showing that even fake knee surgery can be as effective as the real thing. Placebos prove to be as effective as conventional medicine in treating conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, as evidenced by a recent study led by Ted Kapchuk, a Harvard Medical School professor with training in Chinese medicine. Kapchuk offers a refreshing perspective on science. I'm a scientist, but I can live with superstition. He acknowledges that while science is rational, it sometimes forgets that the passions and quirks of human beings are an integral part of the dialogue and discourse across ages. He emphasizes that science isn't inherently bad, but there's a certain hubris in the belief that science holds all the answers and that eliminating all superstitions would create a perfect world. Now, let's delve into the religion effect. Many religions claim to be the one true faith, and logically, they can't all be right. Someone is likely fooling themselves. However, numerous studies reveal that individuals who believe in God tend to be happier than those who don't. A study presented at a Royal Economic Society conference in Britain found that Christians reported higher levels of life satisfaction, with their faith acting as a protective shield against life's disappointments. Christians were less prone to experiencing psychological harm from events like unemployment. Moving on to the parenthood effect, Harvard psychology professor Daniel Gilbert discussed at the Happiness and Its Causes conference how having children can have a negative impact on happiness. He pointed out an intriguing detail. Studies in Europe and the US show that happiness tends to spike when a couple is expecting a baby, only to sharply decline once the child arrives. Could this be attributed to expectant parents being adept at harnessing the power of delusion? Fantasies of efficiently working from home while the baby sleeps soundly in the next room, or wishful thoughts about their child always behaving properly, only to be shattered upon the child's arrival perhaps. So, here it is. Skeptics, cynics, and rationalists may not be as smart as they think. Maybe there should be more respect for crystal healers, fantasists, and fundamentalist enthusiasts, as they may have stumbled upon the key to happiness. But one lingering question remains: is it better to be happy or right? In a world where the environment is under threat, technology is affecting our mental health, and the cost of living is skyrocketing, could adopting a touch of delusion be the only way to navigate through it all? If someone were to label you as delusional, it might actually be perfectly normal to feel offended. At the very least, being accused of being delusional might lead you to reflect deeply on what it is you're supposedly deluding yourself about. Now, picture this. What if you not only recognized, but also admitted your own delusions, consciously embracing them as a form of coping mechanism? Amid the growing list of TikTok-promoted personality shifts, like Goblin Mode and Feral Girl Summer, young people everywhere are opting to be deluded about their reality in order to preserve their happiness. The more I explore this trend, the more I realize it's something I've been doing for years without even realizing it. When almost half of Gen Z worldwide, 46%, according to Deloitte's research, says they feel stressed and anxious most of the time, can you really blame us for seeking a bit of escapism? In a world where we're bombarded by reminders of not-so-great people doing awful things, whether through news headlines, television, or social media, it's easy to get bogged down. However, when these reminders aren't dominating our thoughts, why not metaphorically put on rose-colored glasses, embrace positive delusion, and believe that most people you encounter have good, or at least not horrible, intentions? It's a choice of delusion that seems to provide a welcomed escape from the stress and anxiety prevalent in our daily lives. Why not choose to believe that everyone on the street is approaching the day with an emboldened sense of positivity, just as you are? It's likely that your positive, and maybe slightly deluded, energy will rub off on the people you interact with, making daily experiences more bearable. TikTok is catching on to this behavior and labeling it as being delusional. However, psychologists have long referred to this mindset as magical thinking. It's the kind of attitude that allows people to let go, relax, and enjoy life's simple pleasures. To safeguard mental health, gain a sense of stability, and escape from the harsh realities of our world, being deluded can be as simple as repeating the mantra "everything is going to be amazing," or looking at a friend and saying we are the coolest people at the party. Although TikTok is popularizing the idea of manifesting a better life through delusion for Gen Z, some of our parents might have adopted this mindset from a psychology book called The Happiness Hypothesis, which extensively researched this attitude back in 2006. A quote from the book states, "Evidence shows that people who hold pervasive positive illusions about themselves, their abilities, and their future prospects are mentally healthier, happier, and better liked than people who lack such illusion." And on TikTok, one user aptly said, "Be delusional. Forget what everybody else is talking about, and the whole be realistic's way of thinking. My key to life. The reason why I have so much fun is that I'm delusional as heck. All I have to say is same girl."